One of the things I've noticed about the Scrambler 900 is the front fork springs. And what I was suggested, actually, I was watching a video by Stuart Fillingham who said that a good thing was to upgrade to the progressive forks with tech springs. So I thought I'd give that a go, and I'm going to show you now how I actually did it. Okay, so what's included in the pack? 2 springs, 2 cartridges, which are shorter, 2 shims, and a 30mm socket, and a 6mm hex for the handlebars, and then that special little hook to pull up the springs from the inside of the forks. So I'm going to put the 30mm hex over the top just to show you that you've got to lift your front wheel off the ground and have the forks fully extended before you can actually start to take out the actual springs. I was just marking the bars here so I could get them lined up exactly how I like them. Next thing is to put a blanket over the tank, and then I unscrewed the clamps and laid them over the front of the screen just to get access to the actual forks themselves. Now just be careful with the socket set on the head. You don't want to strip or pull anything on the fork heads. And then decided to put the actual bars with the blanket over the front of it as well to make sure it didn't come off. I then sort of just pushed my leg against the wheel in order to get some purchase on that, and it came loose pretty quick, so it wasn't too bad. Now you can put something over the top of that if you don't want to mark the actual bolts, but I found it was okay. Once you've got that loose, just unscrew it and just be careful with the threads, because you don't want to strip it. I just found it easier to hold the actual socket wrench and then just unwind it. Now you'll see it's just a cap on this side, on the left side, and there's the metal cartridge that comes out first. Now I just place it down, but you will find that there is a little bit of drippage from the fork oil, and you don't need to top this up because it's basically just tiny drips. I then got my special tool that I'd made from the coat hanger, as Stuart Fillingham pointed out, and pulled the first shim out there. Now you can either put those ones back in or use the new ones that are supplied by Tech. I opted to put the new ones in just to keep everything consistent with the new springs. Then it was just a case of hooking them down with this little hook, hooking it down the fork tube, and then unhooking and pulling the first cartridge out, which was a little bit fiddly, but there you can see that's quite a long cartridge in there. And I just sort of tapped it to drip off any oil. And then finally just stick the little tool back down there and then pull the actual spring out with that. It should come up pretty easy, come straight out, and there's another shim. And just hold it with a rag and just tap it to get any of the excess oil out of there. It's actually pretty straightforward, didn't take too long, nice and easy to do, not as complicated as I thought it was going to be. So there you can see the actual original spring and the new progressive spring there. It's probably about 3.5–4 inches difference. And you replace the spring with the tighter springs at the top. So you drop the spring back in, then the shim, then drop the cartridge in on top of that. Then the next shim, and then drop the metal tube on the top of that as well. And then all you have to do is screw the locking nut in the top. Be careful not to strip the threads because they are quite fine, and just tighten it up with your fingers, and then get the socket on there and tighten it up to its torque settings. Now the other side, the right hand sides, these forks are a little bit different. This is the side that has the damper rod in there. For some reason they've put one damper rod in rather than two, as a cost saving measure. But as you can see, you can't pull this one out, so what you've got to do is get a 14mm spanner to undo that lower bolt before the top bolt will come off. So I just put that spanner in there, and you can more or less twist. I did use the locking nut because it is quite tight, but it will come off. As you can see there, it slides straight off, and there's the damper rod. You just keep a hold of that. It will sometimes drop down, but it's quite easy to pull back up. I just put the spanner in there to hold it. Then take that plastic cartridge back out. Get your magic tool back out again and pull out the shim and the actual spring itself. There you go. And straight out with that one. Give it a bit of a tap for that excess oil. And again, don't worry about the oil. You don't need to top it up. It's literally just small drops. And drop that new progressive spring straight down into the cartridge there, along with the shim and the black new cartridge in there as well, which slides in. And finally retighten up that 14mm bolt. Just take it all the way down to the bottom, and then screw the top 30mm cap bolt in the top and tighten. Then just tighten them up. I just did it finger tight. And then just carefully push it back and screw it in. Again, careful not to strip those threads because they are quite fine. And that's it. finger tight, and then torque settings until you hear the click. And then it's just a question of putting the bracket back on, lining it up, and setting it up back to the torque settings again. And there you have it, all done, all in. Nice and easy. Took about 45 minutes to do. Very quick job. And then brought it back down onto its stand. Nice and easy. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you learned a little bit about how to change the springs. I've been riding it and had a little go on the road with it, and it's been really, really good. You can definitely feel the difference. It's a little bit firmer, a little bit less bouncy, and gives you a little bit more confidence. It sort of sticks to the road a little bit better. Definitely a thumbs up. I'd give it a go. It's a cheap upgrade and anyone can do it.